Thanks for your company. In our first story, Defense Minister Dominic Nittiwul has produced documents detailing how the John Mahama and Jerry Rawlings administrations signed military cooperation agreements granting unrestricted access to Ghanaian military facilities to the United States Armed Forces. Now, this is coming on the back of the latest controversy on government's decision to approve a new bilateral military agreement which includes tax exemptions. Dominic Nittiwul has been addressing a press conference in Accra Wednesday where he produced the separate documents that he says laid the foundation for this new agreement that the NPP has signed.
The new agreement, which is an enhanced defense agreement, is premised on two legs. One is the 1998 agreement, and two, which is the note verbal, and two, the 2015 agreement that Ghana signed to by our then Foreign Minister Hannah Tete. And let me read. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Ghana presents its compliment to the Embassy of the United States of America and has the honor to refer to the Embassy's Note 121 dated 24th November 1997, which reads as follows. The Embassy of the United States of America presents its compliment to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Ghana and has the honor to refer to the recent discussion between the representatives of the two governments regarding issues related to U.S. military personnel and civilian employees of the U.S. Department of Defense who may temporarily be present in Ghana in connection with the African Crisis Response Initiative and other activities as may have be agreed upon by our two governments. As a result of these discussions, the Embassy has the pleasure to propose that such personnel be accorded the equivalent to that accorded the administrative and technical staff of the United States Embassy under the Vienna Convention and Diplomatic Relations of 18 April 1961, immunity, and that they may enter and exit Ghana with United States identification and with collective movement of individuals or travel orders. 1998. So immunity, tax clearance, death, entry with ID card, all has already been given in an agreement that was signed in 1998 by the government of the Republic of Ghana called Status of Force Agreement. So the new agreement that we are looking at, there is nothing new in that new agreement. All the Americans have done is to copy what we already have signed to and are dealing with it.
Now, as you may be aware, the agreement, among others, will permit the U.S. military to use Ghana as a base for deploying forces. But Mr. Nittiwul dismissed media reports suggesting a U.S. military base will be established in Ghana as part of the new agreement.
You know, don't let us look at peacetime. God forbid if there's a war time, for example, and the U.S. decides that, or there's a disaster in Ghana like Haiti, and the U.S. decide that they want to come and stage forces and deploy, and they don't have this agreement, how are they going to stage the forces and deploy? Because this is a military agreement, it's not a civilian agreement. So when, for example, there is a natural disaster in Ghana today, and you don't have an agreement that can allow the U.S. to come and land and deploy soldiers, how are they going to do it? So staging soldiers and deploying them is not tantamount to military base. It's to enable them to take an action that will be beneficial to us as a country. And remember that whatever they are going to do should be within the confines of this agreement. And there's nothing in this agreement that says that America can fight a war using this agreement. No. Attack an enemy using this agreement. No. There's nothing like that.
The defense minister there. So what exactly are the details of this agreement? Well, we've put something together so you can understand in clear terms what's in that agreement per the document delivered to Parliament.
The intercepted document urges Ghana's Parliament to, quote, respectfully consider and approve the agreement between the government of the United States of America and the government of Ghana. Here are brief highlights of what the United States gets from Ghana. Unrestricted access to a host of Ghanaian facilities. Wide-ranging tax exemptions to the United States military. U.S. military will use Ghana as a base for staging and deploying forces. Ghana will bear the cost and take primary responsibility for securing the U.S. facilities in Ghana. Ghana will provide unimpeded access to and the use of agreed facilities and areas to the United States forces and contractors. The agreement allows U.S. forces and their contractors to undertake construction activities and make alterations and improvements to agreed facilities and areas. The United States contractors shall not be liable to pay tax or similar charge access within Ghana in connection with this agreement. On imports and exports, the U.S. forces may also import into and export out of and use in Ghana any personal property, equipment, supplies, material, technology, training, or services in connection with the agreement. Such importation, exportation, and use shall be exempt from any inspection, license, other restrictions, customs duty taxes, or any other charges within Ghana. Aircraft vehicles and vessels operated by or at the time exclusively for the United States forces may enter and exit and move freely within the territory and territorial waters of Ghana. In terms of radio spectrum, the United States forces can also use Ghana's radio spectrum free of charge and have unimpeded access. Ghana has to accept as valid without a driving test or fee driving licenses or permits issued by the appropriate U.S. authorities to military personnel as well as civilians and contractors. In a nutshell, the document says the USA wants Ghana as a base for staging and deploying forces. What does Ghana get in return? Facilitation of training, maintaining unit of readiness, continued exercise, and other military opportunities, the document says. It continues, enhanced and fruitful security cooperation between Ghana and the U.S. Also, exchange of information and conduct of joint operations to combat terrorism. The Defense Minister, Dominic Nitiwul, says Ghana gets a $20 million package, even though that is not stated in the agreement cited by Joy News.
So something there to help you understand what this is all about. Let's now go into the phone lines. Gifty Ando-Apia is currently at the residence of the U.S. ambassador to Ghana, and they've been reacting to this issue. Hello, Gifty. What more have you been hearing from the U.S. ambassador?
Hi, Dennis. Let me just say that there was an award program here to award a Martin Luther King Social Justice Award. But of course, we took the advantage to ask the ambassador about this very controversial agreement. When I spoke to him, he says that he's disappointed. First of all, he's disappointed in the public reaction that has come on the back of this, the announcement of this agreement so far. He says, and like they put in the statement that they released the day that we did the story, that this is an ongoing agreement. It's something that has been done for the past, he says, 20 years. So it's really not any different. Well, I was quite curious about asking him whether or not this is fair. This is a fair deal, especially when everything that the United States wanted is stated in the document, and what Ghana gets is not really stated in the document. Well, here's his answer. He says $20 million, a $20 million investment in training the Ghana security agencies, he says, is quite a substantial amount of money. He didn't really answer that question. But then I asked him about whether or not he would have thought it was a fair deal if he was Ghanaian. And he says he would think it was so worth it. Basically, that's what he's been saying. It's not anything different from what they put in the statement. They think this is a good deal. They think it is nothing new. He thinks that Ghanaians are, well, overreacting, if you like.
Gifty, did he say anything about future plans, considering what has happened with this particular agreement?
Well, as far as it's concerned, it's already it's a document that has already been approved. So future plans really doesn't come in here. He's just saying that Ghanaians would not give the United States would not occupy any space here that the Ghanaian authorities do not give.
Well, thank you for the details, Gifty Ando-Apia there, helping us with some reaction from the U.S. ambassador to Ghana, Mr. Robert Jackson. And basically all she's saying is that he thinks it's a fair deal. That's after she put the question to him on whether the benefits on both sides, the benefits is actually mutual.